Welcome back, everyone. I'm the Deprestior, and this is Langrisser Mobile Apex Season 13. Had a couple of losses prior to this match. The first one being their Grinshield and their Kyura procced Breeze almost every round, and kind of ensured I couldn't really do much. I did get to try out Agnes in that battle, and it was pretty good. She was kind of technically my only healer, which was a bit rough, and I couldn't do anything, essentially, because the Grinshield just kept proccing Breeze. Even when I dispelled it, she would just proc it again next round. And as you know, if you get out of the cross formation with Grinshield, you'll pretty much expose yourself to the shield combo, which is pretty rough. One way you can kind of mitigate it is by playing against the Mist, but that also has a lot of disadvantages, especially since I tend to be going up against Jintoki pretty often. And he likes to push you into the mist whenever you don't take an act, or if you stop yourself right next to the mist and all that junk. It was pretty annoying. And then I was kind of tilted because of all the Breeze procs, and so the second match I made some poor decisions on the ban pick, and got beaten by someone that used an Albedo as a tank, and that Albedo didn't even have any defensive buffs at all, besides her own little guard, and she tanked pretty well. In any case, for this match, the trend tends to be pretty off. It's the usual, there's some sort of rush box that's either pure assassin, pure AoE, or a mix of the two. The past few matches have at least varied up the units a little bit, so it's not like the same units every time. So that's kind of the one good thing about this season, is even though it tends to be similar in theme, they don't always use the same characters. Nothing to really update on the box itself. Agnes is like just shy of 6 stars, and I don't remember her name, but this character, she's still floating in 4 stars, which is really, really annoying. In any case, our opponent here, we got a standard Ares, we got SP Dehart, 2 tanks? Nope, just 1 tank. 1 tank, 2 healers, and kind of the usual staples of tank busters and a mixture of AoE. Yeah, pretty much it. So they banned my Sword and Light Shadow first. I banned theirs first because I can't risk her nonsense. Take Lightbringer as usual. They banned my Grinshield and my Agnes. My opponents lately have been banning Grinshield pretty early. They've also been taking Rosenseal pretty early as well. So a lot of my debuff options have pretty much been shut down in most of these fights. Oh, there's 2 tanks. There it is. Yeah, there's a Christian there. So I banned both the tanks. They go ahead and start banning some of my assassins and healers. I, of course, took Iron Blood Commander just to get a bit extra mobility. They take Dehart. At this point, I get rid of their assassin, get rid of their extra mobility and AoE nonsense. Also, I didn't want to deal with any random stuns, because I'm already going to have to deal with that with Dehart there, unfortunately. Grab my Liana. They go ahead and ban my Elma, ban my Lucretia. They take their Wedum. I go ahead and get rid of Ares, get rid of Lucretia. And I go ahead and take Sylvaria at this point. Oh, actually, there is one update for those who didn't see the summon videos, I guess, is Liana does have her exclusive now. So whenever she doesn't act again, it actually gives them an attack buff, which is really helpful. Also, if I ever use summon fairy or whatever it's called, the fairy will actually have more stats and abilities. They go ahead and ban pretty much my long range. They take Jintoki. At this point, I get rid of any kind of additional mobility and teleport they can get, and I go ahead and take... Oh, her name's Elaine. I believe that's her name, is Elaine. This will be the last match for the season for me. I'm definitely not going to be reaching the 256 ranking. But yeah, Elaine here. I took Giant Lizard Riders. They actually have all-terrain, so it's actually a good idea to take them, since it gives her more mobility. She does have boots equipped. Pretty much all of her her primary exclusives here. Her single target, her 3C, and then her line AoE. And as I mentioned before, Elaine is 4 stars, so she needs 10 stacks of her fancy little heroism in order to get an extra action, which is really annoying. Standard kit of Liana here, nothing too special. Healing, act again, and 3C. Sylvaria standard kit, deck gunners, disarm with 3C. Iron Blood Commander, I brought unicorns, mainly for the extra mobility, but also my opponent was most likely not going to bring any infantry, so this was kind of the best call. Went ahead and took Mass Attack just to take a little bit of the buff strain off of Lightbringer. And then besides that, her usual stuff, her move again, and then her 3C. And then Lightbringer about excuse me, brought her Phalanxes and the Discipline 3C and her Strengthen. Give me one moment. Sorry about that. Anyway, in case you missed it, Mass Attack on everybody, get their the formation buff. So a lot of mobility here, which is good to play with. Right now, if I were to move Sylvaria here, I can essentially hit Jintoki, but of course that exposes me to D-Heart and Wedham. Well, pretty much exposes me to everyone. Also, I didn't really go over my opponent's stuff. Standard kit Jintoki, Scooter Dash, 3C, Sugar Intake. This is a standard Elwyn, 3C, Reign of Glory, and Force of Will. Pretty much standard D-Heart here, 3C, Strike, Sneak Attack, with Fairies. Risen Seal, all heals, nothing new there. And then we got Wedham here, single target spect, with the Sword of Alazar, of course. So, my opponent played pretty defensively at this beginning. I go ahead and pass turn in place. Since I had buffed Elaine's mobility thanks to the formation buff, I was able to get 6 stacks immediately, which is pretty helpful. So I'm doing what I can right now just to see what my opponent does. Unfortunately, I kind of have to wait until the D-Heart and Wedham act before I can actually decide where to set up. Now, I don't know... Yeah, so... This actually worked out kind of well, because I'm willing to trade the Sylvaria for one of their units. I could have moved all the way up to here if I wanted to, but I didn't need to. 10 range is where Sylvaria is at right now. I could have gone Forest to get a little extra buff from Deck Gunner, but that would have exposed me to D-Heart's Sprint. So, yeah, him moving down here pretty much ensured I could set up. If this hadn't have happened, I probably would not have been able to set up at all. So, D-Heart's making me pick. Originally I thought it was like maybe... he has a choice. He can actually go pretty much... he can go after anyone except for Elaine. Liana can definitely tank... Actually, she might be able to take a hit from D-Heart. The Fairy Spirit Prophets can be a bit annoying with the... because Shrine Maid is only protect against physical. But besides that, obviously Iron Blood Commander can't survive against D-Heart, and of course Sylvaria can't. So at this point I have to make a trade. I could try to rush in and take a kill with Iron Blood Commander. I don't know if it would be successful. I think it would be, even against Cav. I have enough magic damage that it would probably just shred him. But if I did that, then Wedham would just be able to come in and kill pretty much whoever he wants at that point. It still would have been a trade regardless. So at this point I went ahead and just opted to go for the target I was originally going for, since Wedham can teleport. And as always, once D-Heart blows his load, he's pretty much useless. So he'll kill something and then stun somebody, and then that'll be it. So Jintoki gets all the buffs. He had not acted this turn, so he doesn't get an act again. Yep, here's the shackles. Steals a bunch of my buffs, and then shreds them. Yeah. Decides to be clever and try to stun somebody. In this case, stuns him. Stuns Liana. So I tried to get kill with Phalanx troops here, but unfortunately it came up just short. It's not a huge deal, but I kind of wish I had gotten killed that way and saved an action with Elaine. So we'll go ahead and continue trading. went ahead and just took the damage. The main reason why is because I wanted to limit the amount of stacks I was getting, because if I get 10 stacks from this attack, it would have forced him to act again. And this is where I get kind of screwed. Now, what's his range? Yeah, so you can go here. His Scooter Dash has 6 range, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so me moving a lane actually made it so Liana can get killed. Because, yeah, it'll go Scooter Dash and forces Liana out of there, which sucks. So yeah, me being conservative ended up hurting me here. Alright, so now we're in this situation. Sylvaria and Elaine's buffs have worn off, so I have to pick somebody to give strength into. We got both an Elwyn and a fully stacked Jintoki breathing down my neck, and then Rose and Seal's lagging behind. So for right now, I'll get everyone in guard range, apply strength into Elaine, because with Elaine I was going to get a kill. So this turn actually took my opponent a while to figure out, and I was definitely very concerned, because if my opponent had fell back, I don't think I would have had a way of fall. I don't think I would have been able to win the fight. They could have very easily just done a bunch of hit and runs, or not really hit and runs, but at least regroup and then rush me in some sort of other way. But instead, she moved in and healed, and that actually exposes Jintoki, and I definitely need to kill Jintoki. So I do Clyde Offensor. So the key thing here is I did a fixed damage proc with the start of Clyde Offensor. I'm going to do a second one at the end of the attack with Clyde Offensor, and then I'm also going to proc my armor, which is a third proc, and then my attack itself. So that's going to be 4 stacks, which gets me up to 10, and then gives me the act again. And then I use my 3C to finish him off. So yeah, even at 4 stars, I was able to use her mechanic. And this will eat up all of her buffs, and leave her exposed to Elwyn. Alright, so Rose and Seal and Elwyn versus Lightbringer and Sylvaria. I go ahead and opt to go into sniper stance. So, as expected, charging into Lightbringer with Spear Troops does practically nothing. He did have first strike. Did some okay damage. So what I could have done is, I think I could have just immediately killed Rose and Seal. Yeah, I could have just immediately killed Rose and Seal here, and then just try to fight Elwyn on my own. Yeah, I'm just making sure. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I would have killed Rose and Seal if I had sniped here. But instead I opted to go ahead and attack Elwyn. I was hoping to get kill with Sylvaria here. That didn't work. I think I should have done it with Lightbringer instead. Yeah, I should have done Discipline with Lightbringer and then followed up with Sylvaria, and that might have had a better chance. It's hard to say. But in any case, we'll still be able to take 1 life off. Rose and Seal is completely out of position. So yeah, I went ahead and did Discipline. It's a bit overkill, but I didn't want to trade blows here. That gets me a bunch of healing, get some stacks back. Alright, I'm going to lose a bunch of my buffs here. At this point, my cooldown for my 3C is already refreshed. So I'm gonna, instead of reapplying my buff, I went ahead and opted for Strengthen instead. Opponent tries to heal up, but it's not enough. Even with a regular attack, I crit and kill. And at this point, my opponent gives up because there's no way to win. So a really neat fight. Got to show off a lane. Of course, Sylvaria being clutch at the end to get my final win for the season is always nice. Time Faction, of course, got all the kills, so pretty good stuff there. Kind of wish I didn't lose the 2 previous matches, but that's not the end of the world. I'm pretty sure I'm still floating around 300 on my ranking. Yeah, 334. And my overall win percentage is still 62%, which is not bad. So yeah, this is the last match for the season. Just like I said with every season, with all the new characters been coming out, I've been able to flesh out the box more and more instead of just praying for certain box setups to not come to not pop up. I now kind of have answers for them. I can better fight assassin boxes now. I can better fight rush AoE now. I did find a YouTube channel. I think it's Nia So, I think is the name. And then her character name in the Chinese server was Sonia. A lot of her latest videos are an all-female box, so I've been kind of seeing what she's been doing with it, and she's got some interesting setups. She did some of her older videos. She did use some male characters, but the recent ones have been all-female. And she gradually got to a point where she was doing a 4-tank 4 healer setup, which essentially just allows her to pick whoever she wants at the very beginning. Either someone like the Awakener or the collab Archer character that'll be coming out in a few months. Got to see them in action, so I might try to see. I took a look at the box, and once Awakener comes out, I'll be able to emulate the entire box except for one character, which is the collab character that's not out. So I could just opt to bring some other character, maybe Sylvaria, for it, and give that a shot. I'm not too familiar with the heavy tank, heavy healer setup, but it would give me a lot more control over picking my win conditions. Unfortunately, I'm very, very bad at realizing what my win conditions are. Besides that, I didn't really get much chance to try out Agnes or Elaine. Both of them did okay. I've only used Elaine once, and she won her match. Elaine didn't win hers, but it was still a pretty decent fight. She got to do some pretty decent chip damage with her AoEs from a distance. But unfortunately, my opponent's breeze procs kind of ensured she couldn't keep up the pressure. Besides that, the rest of the box is kind of good. I did use Kyura in one of my previous matches. Unfortunately, she didn't really come in clutch. Also, since I have a lot more counters to AoEs now, I don't really need her anymore, so I may end up dropping her for somebody else. Maybe I'll just replace her with Awakener. I was considering going just one primary tank, but I may go ahead and just drop her for Awakener. Or I may try I'm not sure I'll do a 4-4 setup, but I may do a 3-4 setup and go 3 tanks and then 4 healers. And in the case of that YouTuber, they don't consider Agnes a healer as far as the 4 healer setup. So it's 4 healers plus Agnes in their box. Also with Awakener, I'll have a little bit more flexibility because, I mean, more than likely she's just going to be banned first, but if she's not, I have time faction buff then, and then that'll make it a lot easier to use a lot of these characters. Also, it's kind of a nice box to try out, simply because it doesn't use as many of the meta units, doesn't have Sword and Light and Shadow and stuff like that in it, so I may try that out. To be honest, my skills with Sword and Light and Shadow are kind of lacking. She doesn't actually fit very well with the way I've been playing this box, which tends to be pretty long range. Yes, it's mostly just kind of like long range or harassing type situation, waiting for an opening type situation. The only time I really got to use her, it's really a matter of, do I have a way to punch through their tank? If yes, I win. If no, then I'm screwed. And that's kind of what it is. Besides that, yeah, that's pretty much it. So for this, I guess the next video is going to be Awakener summons, and then the next season that'll start eventually. I believe the next season will also have, I don't know if it's the next season or this. Actually, I think it is the next season. The next season will introduce a new map that has like lava in it or something. So we'll get to see that as well. In any case, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed this season. It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully I did get to Gold 2, which is always nice. Maybe I'll try to get further along next season. But until then, I am the Depressed Hero. This was Langrisser Mobile Apex Season 13. I'll see you guys later.